And we're live. So, in case any of you were just watching that match, well, if you were hoping for an Inter Milan upset, prepare to be disappointed because that's exactly what has not happened. So, hello everyone. I know it's a late night right now, 2:30. It was a long day of sporting action, but Champions League final, no way we're missing out on that. And I'm joined by the Sports app's very own Noel Carrera. Noel, thanks for joining me. First things first, was this inevitable considering you also support a team who, well, pretty much got bulldozed by Man City in the race to the Premier League and were Inter always facing an uphill task? Was this expecting too much?
It was an expected result, as was their remaining trophy wins this season. It has
Yeah.
been all City all the way. This whole, at least in the other other leagues, not the Premier League, because as an Arsenal fan, can't say it was City all the way, but
Yeah.
it has been a complete City domination, at least in the last 2 months across all competitions, especially. So I won't say it's surprising at all. What would be
Yeah.
surprising is how well Inter did manage to keep City in check throughout the game and also looked threatening in their own right, especially those last few minutes.
Yeah, I think the problem with City was, and again, if with Inter rather, I mean, if you go back to the last time that City were in a Champions League final, 2021 Chelsea, they were nullified pretty
Yes,
much. City did not
they
create
were.
much
They
in the way
were.
of chances, and more importantly, the one thing Chelsea did, which unfortunately Inter did not, take their chances. Romelu Lukaku, ironically, still
Exactly.
very much a
Exactly.
Chelsea man, ended up fluffing his lines for two chances, and not just
Yes,
that, he
and
also ended up blocking one goal, which was a sure
yeah,
shot goal, DiMarco's
that
header.
was that was a moment, I would say, which not only hurt them majorly because it was just a minute after the City goal, but I would say that really deflated their confidence because once you get a if a shot is defended by one of the opponents, it's easy,
Hmm.
it's easier to get back, be like, okay, fine, we are making the chances. But if it's your own teammate, as much as it is a mistake, it is still something that can really hurt you as a player.
Exactly, and to be fair with Lukaku, you've seen this happen before. There's this one very popular, clip which kind of goes viral on social media more often than not, where this teammate of his kind of takes a header and he's standing right there, hits his head and deflects. So it's
Yes,
something.
yes,
Fortunately,
yes.
yeah, you've seen it too. You've seen it too.
Yes,
Everyone
of
has
course,
seen
I have
it.
seen it. Yes, that video. Lukaku is
Yeah.
known for moments like this once in a while. As much as he's a great striker, you can say that in their attacking department is where they really lack today. Because I would say that their defending was really good. I
Yeah.
have not been keeping much track about the Serie A this season, but
Mm.
I did not know that Acerbi was actually in that Inter Milan backline because all I've heard about him was during his time with, I guess, Lazio, where he's done
Yeah.
really well. But Acerbi, in between those two central defenders, especially Bastoni, youngster Bastoni, both did really well against, keeping Haaland in check. Haaland only had one shot on target in this whole
Yeah.
game.
Very,
I
very. He
mean,
was very, very quiet. Very, very quiet.
very quiet. A lot of people, my younger brother is a United fan, so I would say that he has a bias. But a lot of people say that Haaland is not a big game player. I would not agree with that because when you're playing in the Premier League, it's all, every match has to be considered a big game. If you end up losing to teams like Brentford or Brighton, right? So I would not say Haaland is not a big game player, but yes, in matches like the FA Cup and the Champions League are matches for which he has been brought into the club, and in these kind of matches he needs to perform at a much better level than he did. Like, why,
No, no,
what makes
absolutely.
Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo the greatest players? They have goals in UCL finals. That's what makes
And
them
World Cup
great.
finals in certain cases.
And World Cup finals and European Championship finals. Although I don't think Ronaldo
Ronaldo
did
didn't
anything
score.
in that final.
He didn't score. Remember, he got injured, then kind of became
Yeah,
this.
he got injured early. I remember. I remember.
Yeah,
Yes,
but
it was
see, that's the
a.
point. With Ronaldo, you can say he's got Champions League goal finals, in finals in the goals. So, truth be told, I mean, with Haaland, and I've noticed this tendency with him is that if he's not getting a consistent barrage of service, he does more
Exactly.
to go missing, and that's I think partly
Exactly.
kind of game he has, because it's very service dependent. And just FYI, City once again was struck with a pretty bad, let's say, curse, because again they lost Kevin De Bruyne, arguably the best person to
Early,
yes, very very early, and he's that one
very
person who can
early.
supply the forward line, especially Haaland with those balls.
Exactly,
Start. That was also one problem, really, because again, without De Bruyne, the attack looked very disjointed. And I mean, credit to them, they were
exactly.
patient and they got that one goal. But again, it was in fact, pretty disjointed. Full
It's
credit to
like De
Inter.
Bruyne makes every player. It's like De Bruyne makes every player in that Manchester City team look much better than they actually might be.
Exactly.
That is one thing. Without him, Bernardo Silva just looks normal. But put him alongside Bernardo and Gundogan, and both of them are among the goals. That's
Yeah,
how
but one
good
quick
De
point, by the
Bruyne
way,
is.
the guy who scored the goal. If you remember, cast your mind back to 2021. He was a City player, but he did
Mm.
not start the final. He didn't
He did
start
not
that.
start, and actually, that was, if I remember correctly, that was, I think, a controversial decision. Maybe not playing Rodri was something that people criticized Guardiola for before the final, and a lot of people blamed his absence in the loss as well, because I think he had just freshly joined, or like was 2 seasons in, and played really
Yeah.
well in that Premier League season, if I'm not wrong, when they won. So,
Yeah, he's been
Rodri has.
since he's joined, and then he just didn't start the Champions League final. It was a big shock. Today he starts
Exactly,
not only the
exactly. But
and winning goal.
since that year, Rodri has improved leaps and bounds. I think from that position where could be afforded to be dropped, I don't think he's a player he can be dropped for international, for Spain or for City. I don't think he's a player you can drop in any position. He's that
Absolutely.
typical defensive pivot who can provide you with the right balls. He's the player. I think if there's one player who Kevin De Bruyne can depend on, is Rodri, because he knows that if I make the forward run, Rodri will perfectly cover for me in the back, in the
Absolutely, and that's the
midfield.
key. And today he was just there, right place, right time, get that goal in. Absolutely peach of a finish,
Exactly,
and
and
that's
that
all
and
they
that
did.
finish, that
Hmm.
finish, curling it past two Inter Milan players, getting it into that corner from that position against a goalkeeper with the most saves in the Champions League this season. It is
Exactly,
mind blowing, mind
exactly.
blowing.
We're getting quite a few comments. A lot of people really are actually in. We'll just take a couple. So, you
Yes,
have
yes.
Sanket Joshi, a United fan who is actually joining us on the stream, says that he's telling me Shane Lukaku is coming to Chelsea next season. I really hope that's not the case. I kind of haven't forgiven him for the way he tried to force a move 3 4 months in. And truth be told, never been that big a fan of him as a player either. So let's say that. Sanket, by the way, has one question for both of us, Noel, which we can answer. If you had to pick
Yes.
Pep's Barcelona team or Pep's City team?
Okay, this is a tough choice.
Mm,
Um, I love the classics, so I will go for Pep's Barcelona team for one reason specifically, because before, when Pep played with that Barcelona team, it was his first outing as a manager, and I think
mm.
it was his first season also as a manager. Since then,
As
he
a
has
senior
won
manager,
multiple.
because remember he was
Pardon?
managing
As a
Barca.
senior manager, yes, as a senior manager,
Managing
and
Barca,
since then he has gone on to win so many trophies. With City, also he's won 6 trophies before he could get his hands on a Champions League. So 6 Premier Leagues is what I mean. Before he could get his hands on a Champions League, I think you would concur with me on this, Shane. Or what do you
Yeah.
say?
No, no, definitely. It has to be that Barca side for a very simple reason. I think that was also a team that had so much homegrown talent. It's not even funny. Like again, this
Exactly,
team,
exactly.
no two ways about it. But the genesis of this City team lies in that Barcelona team of that time. So I think
True.
for me, yeah, I definitely pick that. And also another makes a very good point, Sanket, saying that Alvarez, by the way, has become one of those players who in recent times has done the treble, won all domestic trophies available, and also the FIFA World Cup.
Oh,
Ooh,
that's a very good thing. And if they win the Club World Cup next year, he might have
mm,
completed football at a very young age.
And despite being the second choice striker for Man City, that's the
Oh
mad
yes,
part.
exactly. I was actually doing a write up on Alvarez yesterday. An interesting stat: he has
Hmm.
played 31 matches this season in the Premier League, out of
Hmm.
which 18 of them were substitute appearances from the bench, and that
Exactly.
is how invaluable he has been to this team.
Absolutely. Also, one fun one for both of us. Gitanjali Adhikari is saying that United fans must be furious. Gitanjali, let me tell you just how furious, because the one resident United fan in our office, Harshit, who our Sports Day users know as Mohit,
Yes.
joined the stream. So he's definitely fuming and stewing in his own hatred or anger or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I think United fans definitely, I mean, they were forever and ever that one side who had done the treble, the only English side, although not the only British side, because remember, Celtic had done it first. But only British
Yes.
side, in fact, only English side to have done it. Now City have done it, and it's like, oh, suddenly the noisy neighbors are no longer just that; they're in fact the dominant side in,
One last discussion, Shane. Do you think this takes with Guardiola winning his second treble? Do you think it makes him the greatest football manager ever?
You know what? That's a debate for another time. I'm going to answer that one.
Yes.
But yes, but this one, I think you, me, we're getting Mohit as well, or Harshit, to give him his actual name, and maybe even Anuj to have this conversation, because this fact, truth be told, this is something that deserves a far deeper, in-depth conversation.
Yes. Yes.
Please
You're
do
right.
once the WTC final is done, because again, tomorrow is going to
Of
be a crazy
course.
day. But this is
Yeah. Tomorrow's
definitely
a mad day for both of us.
oh,
You
it's
on
going to be
Sports Today, me
a
on Sports Talk.
In fact, Sanket Joshi says United fans aren't furious. City deserve the trouble, whatever said and done. Sanket, speak for yourself. Trust me, I've gauged the mood across socials. It's not good. Trust me when I say United fans
So
are
is
in an
so is
existential
it at
crisis.
my house right now. My brother hasn't uttered a word since he saw City lifting the Champions League title trophy.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I really don't blame him, and that's the simple fact. But let's see. Kritik is making a joke saying that at Chelsea looking for Lautaro as the number nine. Yeah, already we've had a bad enough season. If we have to go for Lautaro, maybe. Anyway, and Chill Out also says
Okay.
at least we lost the league. I'm pretty sure Chill Out 777 is an Arsenal fan, because he's saying at least we
Okay.
lost the league treble winning team. So yeah,
Yes.
make it
Yes. See,
obvious.
that's how good we are. Let me mention the youngest squad in the Premier League and the youngest manager challenging a team that has won the Premier League 6 times in the last 7 seasons. So
Mhm. And also, one interesting question which one user named Ak is talking about, and he says that Haaland has to be the favorite for the Ballon d'Or. What can go against him? I'll tell you what will go against him. It is scoring a hat trick in the World Cup finals and then lifting the trophy. Unfortunately, we're in a World Cup, and I think that's going to go Messi's way. It's really not.
true.
I get your point. Haaland has been arguably the one of the fulcrums, the best players of a side that's gone on to win a treble. I don't think he's getting it. Public sentiment is just going to favor, let's say, it's going to favor
Messi,
Messi.
yes. This season,
Simple.
yes. But now Messi has gone to USA. You might see a change in the winners of the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah,
I
yeah, I
think
think now
that's it.
with exactly now with Messi in the USA, Ronaldo in Saudi Arabia for the foreseeable future, and Karim Benzema
Exactly.
the last to win the Ballon d'Or also in Saudi Arabia. I think now you're going to see a
Yeah.
change really, 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 really quickly. So that's the thing.
Yes.
In that case, yes, I agree with you. Chill out, 777 also saying something you may agree with. He's saying that we have the better Norwegian. Ooh.
Oh, yes, we do. We definitely do.
But seriously, Haaland's on another level right now. That guy.
Yes, he
Unfortunately,
is.
yeah,
Yes, he is.
he didn't really get to influence this match. But unfortunately, well, yeah.
And
In fact,
he's
yes,
young. I'm sure he'll get a lot more
yeah.
matches to
In
play.
fact, yes. In fact, as Danish Iqbal Zagu points out, he's saying that Messi did what Mbappe did in 2018 World Cup plus Liga, but it was Modric. Yeah, but with Modric, you have to remember it was also partly sentiment. I think a lot of people did think that was going to be his last World Cup. No one expected him to be playing
Mm,
for later. So I agree
exactly.
with Danish, but I think this time around Messi and eighth Ballon d'Or is loading. At least that's what I feel. Again, I
Yes.
could very well be wrong,
Same here.
but
I also feel the same.
It's not going anywhere. But this stream isn't about Messi. It's about Man City, and they're about to win the Champions League, or they're about to lift the trophy very soon. So, yeah,
Yes.
yes, it's definitely been a crazy season for them. Definitely,
Hmm.
Pep Guardiola has finally broken that one jinx, which
Yeah.
has literally haunted him for a long time now. 2010 was the last time he lifted. No, 2009 was the last time.
2011. The last
Yeah, 11,
season as a
yes,
Barcelona manager.
yes. 11. No, second last. He was the
Oh,
manager in
second last.
2000.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, I remember. I remember.
Second last
So
season at
perfect. I think it's a perfect end to a season for both of us. Now you can look forward to the next season. As a Chelsea fan, I can look forward to improving on our season and
Barcelona.
hearing the Champions League anthem at the Emirates after a very long time.
How long has it been?
So
How long has it been? Five
I think
years?
2017 was the last time we played, or 2016
Yes.
was when we
Mm.
last played in the
Mm.
Champions League. It was a long time. What I do remember, I don't remember when we last played, but I do remember we lost to Bayern Munich 10-2 on aggregates.
Ah, yes.
That's how bad it was.
Mm.
Yes. On this
Yeah.
note, Shane, let's leave our fans to watch the trophy ceremony while we also
Yes,
go
we
and
look
catch
forward
up.
to the same thing, and maybe potentially catch up on some sleep. Big day ahead for all of us. So thank
Of
you
course,
guys.
tomorrow is a big day.
Yeah, big day. So thank you guys for joining us so much. Always, appreciate your company, especially since it's like nearly 3 a.m. in the morning. But if you enjoyed
Mhm.
this video, don't forget, like, share, subscribe, tap that bell, leave us a comment. Also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and download the Sportsbook app where you'll see a lot of stuff from people like Noel. Of course, some people also didn't know recently was an English version of Sportsbook app, but we'll leave that
Yes.
conversation for another time. But thank you from Noel and me. It's bye bye for now. Good night.
Good night.